The following is a presentation of the Matt Talk Podcast Network.
The BVU Beavercast is proudly supported by alum and two-time All-American Monty Mers and High Country Search. Elevate your search at highcountrysearch.com.
Welcome to the Lodge. It's time to settle in for the Buena Vista Wrestling Beavercast. Join host Jason Bryant and head wrestling coach Jeff Brees as we talk all things BV wrestling. Now, on to the show.
Episode 21 of the BVU Wrestling Beavercast. Jason Bryant with you, fresh off my return from Rio, and I get to go talk to my man Jeff Brees, sitting in Storm Lake, Iowa, as the kids have moved in. It's move-in day. It's come and gone. This is a special episode of the Beavercast because we're going to hear from like 19 or 20 of the freshmen coming in. Jeff, you've got your hands full with a lot of kids this year.
Yeah, I'm both ecstatic, couldn't be more thrilled for the freshmen that we have coming in, and also a little bit scared. We got 20 freshmen that we got to kind of help mold and help them get used to college and all of that stuff before we even get around to wrestling. So a little bit scary, but really exciting too.
Let's go back in time a little bit. Let's talk about our move-in days. Now, my move-in day to Old Dominion University was August 23rd, 1997. I remember it because I turned 18 on August 20th, and 3 days later, get out, go to college. And it was one of those things where I was in Whitehurst Hall, which was down by the Elizabeth River, for those who are familiar with the geographical area. And I think of all the listeners, maybe Al Baxter is probably the only one that actually knows exactly where I'm talking about. You might, but so there was a parking lot, giant parking lot behind the dorm. I didn't know about it. I was just trying to park in this little parking lot in the front, found something near the field house, trucked all my stuff like loads and loads and loads up to Whitehurst 440B. And then I look out my window and I see this giant parking lot so much closer. And I'm like, son of a... Yeah. So move-in day was, that was interesting for me. There was a couple other issues with one of my friends from high school, realizing my door was unlocked the first day, and I had everything set up, my clothes hanging up and everything, and then I hadn't met my roommate yet. I come back, and then I see my roommate's stuff moved in, and he's gone, and I noticed my clothes like hanging up in certain places. I'm like, what the heck? Well, apparently one of my friends went through, found my door was unlocked, and basically just threw my clothes all over the place. So my roommate, when him and his parents move in, or come in, my stuff's everywhere. And I didn't know about this till like a week later. So that is a short, more PG version of my move-in story. Jeff Brees, NC State move-in. Your turn. Go.
Yeah, so a couple interesting things that happened that day that I will never forget. One, when I went down to orientation, I made a roommate switch. Got to know a guy named Bryant Reams, who was from the area. He was a Durham kid, and we decided we were going to be roommates, even though that wasn't the initial assignment that the coaches or the university gave me.
Who was your initial assignment, by the way? Do you remember?
Chance Norman, I believe, who was also a North Carolina guy. I know Coach Jordan tried to put me with another guy from North Carolina since I was out of state. And somewhere along the way, I'm not really sure. I'm pretty sure I conveyed the message to Coach Jordan that we were going to make the switch. But the folks at the residence hall, Chance himself, none of them knew that I was living with Bryant when I got there. So that led to a little bit of confusion. And then once we got that all figured out, and I figured out what room I was supposed to get to, I walk in and see Bryant just shaking his head, and he goes, "Nah, this isn't going to work. We got moved, man. This isn't going to happen." I still never really got to see what was going on in that room, but something wasn't right, and him and his mom had already got us moved to a different dorm before I even moved a single box in. So after about an hour and a half of dealing with all that stuff, I finally started moving boxes in, and everything was great. Room was perfect on the second floor. Ended up being right next door to a guy that's one of my best friends to this day. So it worked out perfectly. But the thing that probably sticks out to me the most is if you know my dad, neither of us are we're not super awesome with emotions when it comes to each other, I guess. And so we just kind of looked at each other like, well, guess it's time to go. And I distinctly remember saying, hey, just remember why you're here. Shook my hand, got in the car, and drove back to Pennsylvania. And I knew what that meant. That like was every ounce of emotion he had in him that day. And I had no words, but I will never forget. Hey, remember why you're here. That was it.
I moved by myself.
Crying and like all of that. That was the conversation with my dad, and I'll never forget.
Yeah, the only emotions that were, it's like I loaded up my '89 Ford Bronco 2 with the hatchback and just moved my stuff. I moved by myself. I mean, granted it was 25-30 minutes, but it was like by myself. I remember my little sister looking at me. So she's about, I'm 18, so 6.5 years. She was about 11 or 12, and it's like, all right, I'm going to college. And she just like, I think it hit her. She's just like, she starts crying. I'm like, yeah, and my parents are just like, I don't even know where they were. It's like I moved to college by myself, so that was my move-in story. And then one of my roommates may or may not have had something that was probably illegal at the time in the room, but we're not going to talk about what we did as 18-year-old freshmen. So anyway, now this episode, you sent Brad Kirchhoff out on assignment on move-in day. Let's explain what we're going to hear on this episode for those listening.
Yeah, so I kind of thought about it, and we wanted to do this episode so we could get all of our freshmen on and just get to know them in real quick, short snippets. And they're like, you know what? Probably the last person that they really want to talk to is me. Like, they're excited I'm their coach, all of that, but they don't really want to tell me their funny stories. They're probably not going to open up quite as much to me. And so we had our returning guys that were already in town around that day just to kind of meet and greet and, kind of have some familiar faces for our guys when they got there. And I'm like, Brad, why don't you give this a shot today? Dude listens to a lot of podcasts. I think his life goal may someday to be Tim Ferriss. So I'm like, dude, just give this a shot. You'll have fun with it. And he actually was pretty smooth most of the time, except for one major glitch. He did about half the interviews without remembering to save them. So some of them are done twice, some of them even 3 times. But other than that, Brad was pretty smooth on the mic, and I think it turned out a lot better than me sitting down and asking guys questions. They're a lot more willing to be themselves around Brad.
Yeah, or me driving down to Storm Lake, be like, hey, I'm the guy you don't know that does this show. Yeah, so
yeah.
So, folks, we're going to kick back and listen to Meet Your Freshman on Move-In Day here on episode 21 of the BV Wrestling Beavercast.
Freshman Austin Amick out of Spearfish, South Dakota on the BVU Beavercast today. Austin, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So how far away is Spearfish from here?
It's about 8 hours, depending on the way you take.
Really? Okay, so that's quite a drive.
Yeah, a little bit.
So how much did you know about Storm Lake before coming here?
Nothing. I had never heard of Storm Lake until I came here on a visit, I guess. It's a pretty nice little town, though.
Yeah, so you're settled in now. What's your favorite thing about campus?
Definitely the lake. Like, if you go out early in the morning and it's cold out, like all the fog rolling off the lake, beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely that is
gorgeous.
Quite the scene with like the mist rising off the top of the lake.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's some cool stuff, dude. Well, you're going to like it here if you appreciate the lake and you appreciate the outdoors. This is the place to be for it, I'll tell you what. So, Austin, who is your favorite wrestler of all time?
Even though it's probably like a common pick, I'd have to say Jordan Burroughs, just because he's just really class act. Like, even when he loses, like just recently, didn't even medal in the Olympics. And,
disappointing day in the Olympics.
Yeah, just disappointing, and like just a class act about it. Like doesn't blame any, like doesn't say it's this person's fault. He says it's my fault. He's disappointed in himself. I don't know. He just doesn't throw a fit about it. Just knows he needs to work harder. I don't know. Good example.
At that level, the really only thing separating those guys is the mindset.
Yeah.
And Jordan Burroughs seems to have that nailed down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree. It's just, it's awesome. He's a good athlete.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good answer, for sure. So, your parents on match day, what are they like? Can you hear them from the stands? Are they loud, quiet, reserved, really out there? Tell me a little bit.
Yeah, my mom likes to be really loud. She actually doesn't really know a whole lot about wrestling, so she yells out what she can.
Go!
Yeah, go Austin! just kind of that stuff. She's pretty energetic. She gets nervous. She gets really scared. She's worried I'm gonna get hurt or something. But
yeah, did they come with you for move-in day?
Yeah, my mom and my grandma did. My mom, my grandma, and my sister.
Sweet.
Yeah, so that was interesting. They helped me put together my dorm, and yeah, we're getting all the little things fixed up. So that was nice.
Do you anticipate anybody making it over for a competition or?
Yeah, my mom said she would. My grandma's probably going to come down all the time. She likes to watch me wrestle, and she doesn't really have a whole lot going on. So
yeah, sweet.
Otherwise,
that'll be good. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast today, Austin.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Oh. All right, we got Basil Horsey here out of Storm Lake on the BVU Beavercast. Basil, how's it going today?
It's going pretty good. Just getting used to living here, you know.
Yeah, of course. You got moved in this morning?
Actually, I got moved in like a few days ago. But yeah.
All right, well, you're set then. Yeah. So you live in Storm Lake.
Yep.
So you kind of know how things go around here a little better. You know, some of the freshmen coming from all over the place.
Yeah.
What would you say is the best place to eat in Storm Lake?
Oh, most definitely Lawas.
Lawas. And so you're walking into Lawas. What is the best tasting food in Lawas?
Well, somebody new there, I'd recommend the tacos, but my favorite's the burrito.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Just a classic beef burrito?
Yeah.
Excellent. That's a good answer. It's a very popular dish. So, do you see yourself as a pretty clean and tidy roommate, or as things get a little disorganized, a little more homey?
Well, first couple days we kept it really clean, but I'm already seeing it starting to go downhill, so we're just going to have to see how it looks by the end of the year.
I do not have great faith in you from that answer. So, if you're going to go on vacation, Basil, are you going to try to go to a mountain setting, or are you heading to the beach? Which one? Which one would you go with?
I'd like to go to the mountains. Like, I like hiking and stuff like that. So, yeah.
All right, you like the trails? And,
yeah.
All right, sweet. You've been to any good mountain destinations?
Yeah, I've been Mount Rushmore. I've been up to Canada. And,
excellent.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful area. Beautiful area. Very nice.
Going in Pilcher level.
That's pretty good. So, Basil, if we're going to go on a road trip, and we need to pop in a DVD, and it's up to you. What movie are we going to watch?
You know who's actually here?
21 Jump Street.
21 Jump Street? That'll get the guys going. I'm sure. That's a good one. Nice. Good answer.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for joining us today, Basil.
Yeah, no problem.
Great teammate.
Anthony Osman here out of East Mills High School in Iowa. Anthony, where are you originally from?
I've been kind of around a bit. I used to live in Cots Bluffs, but I've been more around the Malvern area recently, so Malvern.
All right, and that's where you lived when you went to East Mills?
Yeah, pretty much.
And you wrestled heavyweight at East Mills?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, we need lots of big heavies, and you guys are going to have lots of good practice partners, so you should be excited. I'll tell you what. So you got all moved in and a little bit settled in here. What's the best thing so far?
I think it's just kind of the atmosphere of the campus. It's a beautiful campus. There's plenty to do. The food's good.
Yeah.
It seems like all the students here are pretty good people in general, and the teachers and the coaches always want the best for everyone. So it's a really good environment to be in.
Yeah, it's a good community. You're gonna like it. You can just talk to about anybody you want and get to know them pretty quick. So I see you're wearing a John J. Harris t-shirt. Now that's the big high school tournament in Corning.
Yeah. For pretty much the west side of Iowa. Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. So I'll tell you what, that's going to be comparable to the open tournaments this year.
Yeah, I actually placed like third.
You got third?
Harris. Placed third my senior year, and my first year I'd been at Harris, I placed fifth was my junior year. So.
Junior year. Sweet, dude. Well, that's good to see that you can keep going on that long day. You're going to have to go match after match after match.
That's something I kind of pride myself on, was always my endurance and stamina. I always seem to have a lot of it, so that's something I always kind of liked about myself.
That's going to be a good attribute to have this coming season, I'll tell you what. Well, we're glad to have you settled in. Glad to have you on the podcast. Thanks for coming, Anthony.
Oh, thank you.
We have Christian Lewis here out of Des Moines, Iowa. Christian, how are you?
Doing good.
Doing good. Now, where did you go to school in Des Moines?
East High. It's, I don't know, the biggest school in Iowa.
Des Moines East. And do you live close to the high school?
Yeah, like 10 minutes.
Really? All right. And you wrestled heavyweight this year, correct?
Heavyweight. Mm-hmm.
Good. Now, Des Moines East is 3A.
Yeah.
3A's got some pretty stiff competition.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's good. That'll prep you well for what you got coming here, for sure. Christian, what is your guilty pleasure food in the off season?
Oh man, probably pizza. I eat a lot of that.
You eat plenty of pizza.
Season, yeah.
You know, you got some room to grow anyways. Maybe I shouldn't even say guilty pleasure food.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm not trying to grow too much.
Yeah, that'd be a shame to have to cut weight as heavy, yeah?
Dude, there's people that might have to.
So, Christian, do you see yourself as a pretty clean and tidy roommate, or a little disorganized, a little more homey feel? What do you think?
Well, right now my room's pretty organized. I don't know how long it's gonna last though. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been out for your first round of lawn golf yet?
No.
Really?
I haven't. No.
Oh, we might have to take you guys out this weekend.
Definitely.
You heard of lawn golf at all?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna play this weekend. This is game. I'll tell you. You hit a tennis ball all around campus, hitting all the different buildings.
Okay, yeah.
You seen people playing it all?
I have seen people playing it. Yeah, I definitely will play it. Looks cool.
Are you excited to go at it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. All right, well, Christian, thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, thank you.
Derek Wyatt out of Waverly, Iowa, joins me on the Beavercast. Derek, how are you today?
Pretty good, you?
Good. So you wrestled for Waverly Shell Rock last year.
Yep.
Wrestled 113?
113, yep.
113 pounds for Waverly Shell Rock. So who was your personal coach in Waverly?
Personal coach in Waverly was Nick Keith.
Nick Keith.
Yep.
All right. Now tell me a little bit about Nick.
He's a little bit of a, perfectionist, I guess. Like, once you get the move right, I think I worked on singles for, 2 practices straight one time.
Just start to finish?
Yeah, start to finish. Well, we had these, right before state on Wednesdays, it was kind of like a personal practice in the morning that was an hour long. Mm-hmm. So all I work on was singles.
Wow. Hey, that's how you get stuff down pat.
Yeah.
So do you have any crazy coaching stories about any of your staff or anything?
At state, my Coach Schwab, he runs probably 6 miles a day, I'd say, somewhere around there. He drinks 2 or 3 monsters a day, and it was 4 in the morning. He had on his plastics, and he's running around Des Moines. He found a hockey mask on the ground, and he wore it running around Des Moines at 4 in the morning.
That's pretty out there. Yep. That'd be startling as just a normal Des Moines resident.
Yeah.
Seeing that.
I'd be scared.
Yeah, I'd be pretty frightened too.
I'd be more scared since I knew him.
So Derek, what's your guilty pleasure food in the off season?
I got a pretty standard one. Twinkies. I really like Twinkies.
Keep it simple. Yeah. I like that. The classic Twinkie. That's a good way to go. What's your favorite part about BV so far?
So far, I like hanging out with the guys.
Yeah.
A couple of the guys' rooms. There's a lot of freshmen, 20.
Yeah. There's plenty of people to hang out around. I feel like the camaraderie is already picking up. You can definitely feel a little bit of a brotherhood happening here.
Got some weird guys, but that's all right.
Hey,
we're all goofy.
Yeah, we're all a little weird in our own way, you know. All right, Derek. Well, thanks for joining me today on the BVU Beavercast. Right. Freshman Gunnar Reynolds here out of Arkansas. Gunnar, where are you from in Arkansas? Springdale, Arkansas. And what's the story with Springdale?
It's just a small town, about maybe 600 people more than here.
Okay. All right, so it doesn't feel too much different. But, I mean, it's Iowa. You know, what did you know about Iowa before coming here? Did you visit?
Yes, I visited. And really much different layout. There's cornfields everywhere around here. And then back home, I got the University of Arkansas and Walmart headquarters and Tyson's and stuff. So big difference in the sculpture of the towns.
Yeah, definitely. There's different industry layout and everything. So now you've gotten a little bit settled in here. You got moved in, gotten a little taste of Iowa. What do you know now? What did you learn that you didn't know before about Iowa?
it feels like more of a tight community, like around here. Like everybody really knows everybody. We're back at home. Like they just call you by like a number. They don't really. Teachers don't call you by like your like names or hardly. They just kind of.
They just know you as one of the crowd.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what a lot of people appreciate about BV, especially in Iowa as a whole, is that communal feel. You know, and yeah, for sure. I know that's what gets a lot of people here in the first place. So what made you choose BV?
I was just looking around. I wanted a small campus where people would actually know me instead of just saying like, oh, there's that kid. Actually, I can know them and actually just go up to them and have a conversation. And then Coach Wyatt in wrestling, he kept talking to me and saying he really wanted me to go here. And then my admissions counselor, she was talking to me like every day of the week until I finally made my decision to come here. Just because I like the atmosphere up here and how everybody was close together and really cared about like my decision.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you here as part of this monster freshman class, man. Really glad you came. Last question, what's your favorite pair of wrestling shoes?
My favorite pair of wrestling shoes are probably going to have to be, I'd say my Kel Sanders.
The Sanderson, the what have they got? The V?
Yeah.
Yeah, the A6. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The A6. I think they're the A6, and I think they're the 3rd edition.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good pair, for sure. All right, well, thanks for coming on, Gunner.
Thank you.
Freshman Colin Stillson joining me now out of Colorado. Colin, how are you?
I'm good, man.
Where are you from in Colorado?
Avon.
Avon, Colorado.
Near Vail, Edwards.
Oh, Vail, that's a beautiful area.
Yeah.
Very nice area. I've always wanted to visit. Maybe stay a little while.
Yeah.
Or forever.
Nice.
Yeah. So, your dad, Mike Stillson, is a BVU alum.
Yeah.
What does it mean to go to the same school that your dad went to?
I'm not really sure. I mean, it's cool and all. I don't know. I don't really want to follow in his footsteps at all, but maybe do a little bit better than he did. But.
Yeah. See if you can one up him a little bit.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
good.
Yeah.
You heard any stories about his time here?
Yeah. But I'm I don't know. I hear it all the time that I just kind of zone out, so can't really give you one right now.
All right, man. That's fine. Who's your favorite wrestler of all time, Colin?
All time? From Iowa?
Yeah, Matt McDonough.
Matt McDonough, there it is.
That's
the
good.
125-pounder from there a couple years ago.
Yeah, he was a 3-time finalist, 2-time champ.
Yeah.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick. Won the Nationals right out the gate as a freshman, man. Mm-hmm. Looking to get some freshman success out of you?
Yeah, of course.
All right, man. We're excited. We're excited for that. Have you been to La Juanita's yet?
No.
You're going to enjoy the Mexican food
there.
That's
what Kevin told us to go to.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, wait, maybe we did. Did we go there? Did we go there yesterday?
Lawas.
No.
Not yet. All right, well, we'll have to have your dad take you there.
Yeah. Before we leave.
All right, sweet, man. Well, it was good having you on here. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks.
Got Andrew Hoffman here on the BVU Beavercast. Andrew, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Where are you from?
I'm from Chanhassen, Minnesota.
All right, shout out to Chanhassen. How was the drive down?
It wasn't too bad. It was just over 4 hours, so it was pretty easy.
When'd you make the drive?
Wednesday night, because I got to move in a day early since I missed orientation.
Oh, I got you. All right, so 4 hours, that's not too bad.
Not bad at all.
All right, so you're already settled in.
Yep.
And how was moving?
It was good. The O team basically helped me, so I didn't have to move a thing in by myself, so it was pretty easy.
Yeah, that's pretty nice, but, this is the only year you're going to get that luxury, so don't get used to it. Next year's going to take some sweat. All right, so Andrew, what do you think? Who is your favorite wrestler of all time?
My favorite wrestler of all time would probably be Andrew Bisick, just because he's an Olympic wrestler and he's from Chaska, Minnesota. So he actually is right from the town next over. So he's came back and helped coach practices. Really? So it's just fun to know somebody who's wrestling Olympics. So that's probably my favorite wrestler.
Did you keep up pretty close to the Greco scene this year at the Olympics?
Yeah, I did. He went 1 and 2, so he didn't place or anything, but
It's pretty close.
That's unfortunate, but they had a good run, a lot of the guys there, and it seemed like he had a good experience. So, So you've been to Storm Lake once on a visit?
I've been here probably like 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times?
Yeah.
You've been to Lawas, made your way over to Lagunitas?
I have.
All right. So you walk into Lawas, which is the most popular Mexican joint in town. And what's your go-to order at Lawas?
Go-to order would be a big old beef burrito.
Nice. Beef burrito. That's what a lot of people would say, I think. It's very popular. So, last question, Andrew. So we're going to go on our first road trip on the bus, on the charter bus. And we're going to pop in a movie. You get to pick. What movie are we turning on?
What movie are we turning on? Ooh, it's a tough one. Probably something with We're the Millers, maybe with Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, that's an excellent choice. That'll be a hit with the guys for sure. That might just happen. All right. Well, Andrew, thanks for coming on, and have a good rest of your day.
All right, thank you.
All right, we have Daniel Howdigi on the BVU Beavercast here. Daniel, am I saying your name right?
Yeah.
Howdigi?
Yeah.
All right, sweet. And you're from California, right?
Yep.
Where at in California?
Way down south by Mexico, so pretty close.
Pretty close to Mexico?
Yep.
Wow, that's quite the trip. How was it out here?
Long.
Did you drive or fly?
We flew.
Flew?
Yeah.
Who'd you come out with?
My mom and dad.
Nice. Your parents are here. Excellent. How was moving going so far?
Pretty good, actually. I like it here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is your first time on campus?
Yeah.
You think it's pretty nice?
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Like the lake?
Oh, yeah.
I hear you like to fish.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so what's your favorite thing to go fish for?
Bass. We have a lot of bass back home.
You're a bass fisher?
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So do you have any fishing stories? Best fishing story?
Let's see. 2 years ago, I caught about a 5.5 pound bass on a bluegill, but then I had to jump in to get it untangled from a pole.
Really?
Yeah.
So you had to get in the water to get it out?
Yeah, I had to get in the water to get it out.
Wow, that's a pretty good story. That'd be pretty great. So your name is Daniel Howdigi, but it's spelled with a J and an R, and it's a little funky. So you wrestle at plenty of tournaments. What's the worst pronunciation you've ever heard of your name at a tournament?
They didn't even try to pronounce my last name. They just said Daniel.
I like that. All right, Daniel. So it's the first day of practice. You walk in the room, and Coach Breeze says that you get to pick the Pandora station we're going to listen to for practice. What station are we listening to?
Country.
Country. Wow, all right. We'll see how you get along with everybody else for that one. Might get executed on that one. All right, Daniel. Well, thanks for coming on the Beavercast, and I hope you have a good rest of your moving.
All right, thank you.
Joe Minkler out of Pocahontas, Iowa, joins me on the Beavercast. Joe, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
So you're all moved in, you're all settled in. You're ready to go with classes, ready to get it going. What's your favorite thing about campus so far?
My favorite thing about campus is just how helpful all the staff are on campus. Campus atmosphere in general is just really great.
Yeah, it's a good community. You're, if that's what you like, it doesn't stop after move-in day, you know?
Oh, yeah, no.
People are really good all year. It's going to be great. Who's your favorite wrestler of all time, Joe?
Obviously, the first one that would come to mind would be Jordan Burroughs. I mean, he's a face of USA Wrestling, but my favorite wrestler would have to be David Taylor, just because he's always trying to score more points and he's always working. He doesn't want to win just by a point or two. He wants to, major tech ball score points for the team. And he'd be my favorite wrestler just because I like his attitude about wrestling. He's very innovative and trying to change up his style to counteract whoever he's wrestling. So he'd be my favorite.
Yeah, Taylor's a very prolific scorer. You mentioned Jordan Burroughs, and Taylor's the one that, prior to Burroughs' recent defeat in the Olympics, Taylor's one of the last ones to really push Burroughs in the U.S. Open final from a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, Taylor's nuts.
Yeah, he's crazy. I just really like his. I don't know. I just really
he scores,
like,
man.
He scores
puts on a show. Even the casual wrestling observer has to love David Taylor.
Oh yeah.
So you've been to Lawas.
Of course.
All right. Now, what's your go-to order at Lawas?
My go-to order is 3 beefsteak tacos, and then I usually get a beefsteak burrito to go.
Nice. All right. So you got the tacos to just warm you up a little bit and get things going.
Get me going, and then on my way out, I can enjoy a burrito.
That's a clutch move. I can tell you you know what you're doing there.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
All right, Joe. Well, thanks for joining us on the Beavercast today.
Thank you.
Jordan Henning out of Newton, Iowa, on the BVU Beavercast today. Jordan, how are you?
I'm doing good, Brett. How are you?
I am excellent. So, Jordan, now you're from Newton, and Newton's got the drive-in movie theater, yeah?
Yes, it's called the Valley Drive-In right outside town.
Really? Okay, so what's it like at the drive-in theater?
It's pretty nice. You pay like $8, I think it is, for admission. You get 2 movies. Movies get done at they start at dusk and get done at 2 in the morning.
Wow, okay, so some late nights. Do you use the movie theater often?
2 or 3 times a summer. Makes for a good evening.
Nice. You get some buddies over there and just check it out?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. So what was the best thing about moving day for you?
Moving day was good. We had, the moving crew that BVU has was great. We showed up at 8:30. Within 5 minutes, we had everything in my room and set up. So my roommate, Austin, he wasn't here for 3 more hours, I guess. So we had plenty of time for me to set up my stuff and not worry about that kind of stuff just because they did so well getting my stuff in my room so fast.
Yeah, the O-team crew is really accommodating for that stuff. And it's always nice when your roommate and you show up staggered so you can kind of... Yeah, for
that
sure.
Was nice.
Jordan, who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
Of all time is hard. I watch a lot of film. I like a lot of wrestlers. Probably currently, I'd have to say Tervel Dlugnev.
Really?
I know he just retired, but I just like the style. I like how he wrestles. If you look at it, he has wrestled for a medal match in every single one of his international competitions. So, and that's a crazy stat with as long as he's been wrestling internationally. Actually, I was just looking at something, and there's a chance that from the 2012 Olympics that he might medal because someone is their test came back and they might have been
right. That 8-year delay on the drug test.
Yeah, so there's a chance he might be an Olympic medalist, and I just like how he wrestles, and I got to watch him up in Iowa City this fall at the Olympic team trials in Iowa City, and he's a great wrestler and even better role model.
Yeah, Tervel's got great style, great mindset. I know one of the big things is that he's got that mindset that a lot of people herald.
Yeah, he has a great mindset, and it helps that he's a heavyweight. I'm a big boy.
Yeah.
And it helps, I love watching Jordan Burroughs and Metcalf and Ramos and everything like that, but when it comes to watching, my favorites, I like the heavyweights, and Dlugnev has to be up there.
Smart call, dude. Well, thanks for joining us today on the Beavercast.
All right, thanks, Brad.
Lavaris Preston out of Florida joins me on the BVU Beavercast. Lavaris, where are you from in Florida?
I'm from a small city in Florida, Fort Myers, Florida. That's me.
Now, where is that close to?
To be 2.5 hours away from Miami.
All right, so you're farther down on the peninsula then.
More southern, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Not too far to the beach?
We got Fort Myers Beach, Bonita Beach, just 30, 45 minutes away, Naples Beach. It's a lot of beaches in Florida.
A lot of beaches.
Yeah.
So coming to Storm Lake, Iowa might be a far cry away from the beaches.
Yeah, it's definitely... we got a lake, Storm Lake. Beach.
Well, we might have to find some beach space on Storm Lake for you. I'm sure there's somewhere.
Yeah, I'm good.
How did you find yourself in Storm Lake, Iowa?
It had the best of both worlds. We got football, then wrestling, and my major, so...
Yeah, so you're going to compete in football and wrestling this year for BV.
Yeah.
How do you anticipate that going?
I'm looking forward to it. Last season for football was rough, but, hopefully we can change that this year. And with wrestling, up north is where all the wrestlers are. Well, it's supposed to be known for wrestling. So I came up here to introduce the north to the south.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, this is the hotbed, and you're gonna bring some Florida style up from the south.
Yeah, that's me.
That'll be good, man. So if it's all up to you, what music station we're gonna listen to? We got Pandora hooked up in the wrestling room. What station are we listening to? It's all to Lavaris.
Oh, I'm like a oldies, man. I'm like a 90s baby. I like the 90s music.
The 90s?
Yeah, 90s and the 2000s. I can do with that.
Excellent. Yeah, we like to kick it back with some 90s and 2000s. Sweet. All right, Lavaris, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, it's been real.
All right, Coach Wyatt, assistant wrestling coach at Buena Vista University here on the Beaver Podcast. Here with sophomores Brad Kirchhoff and Carson Rhodes. Brad, you've been doing questions for these guys, been asking a lot of questions. How has it been meeting these guys and getting to know them a little better?
It's been a pretty surreal experience to meet all the diversity we got coming in, all the variety of freshmen, and knowing that I was just there a year ago.
Yeah, so both you guys, just a year ago, you guys were moving in, and Carson, how was moving day a year ago? And it's a while to think back, but how was it for you?
For me personally, I had a really good experience. You know, I got a lot of help where I needed it, and right as I got on campus, I just felt really welcome and that I was really wanted here. So it was awesome.
Good. So years gone by, you guys moved in. What's one thing you guys have learned since a year ago after move-in day? Go ahead, Brad.
I'd say one thing to keep in mind is that you got to use your space efficiently in the dorms. You got to build. Use the height of the dorms. You got all that unused space near the ceiling where if you stack stuff up and keep storing stuff high, you got a bunch of open floor space for games.
Okay, so Carson, what's one thing that you did your first year that you wish you wouldn't have done with your room?
I didn't carpet the whole thing, and that is one thing that we had, like one little rug, and it makes a huge difference. I mean, you wake up in the morning and put your feet right on that cold tile. It's goes right to the bone. Yeah, soul crushing is the word for it. So it definitely makes it a lot more homey if you get some
really
carpet.
destroys your will to live, actually.
Okay. All right, Brad, same question, man. What were you thinking as far as what you've done differently this year compared to last year? What did you do last year that was bad?
Right away on move-in day, me and my roommate Shane got there about the same time and decided to just split up the room half and half. So it was kind of symmetrical. So I had my half, he had his half, but it was not space efficient because we each had to have our beds lofted.
Gotcha.
And so as roommates, if you put it together and don't have to have things equal, you can use your space a lot more efficiently.
Another thing I would add on to that is lofting your bed makes it gets really irritating after a while. I've always climbing up almost to the ceiling to get in your bed and then climbing down, rolling out of your bed. It's way better if you guys work together and can have your both your beds.
Now, being lofted up, do you guys ever experience hitting your head on the ceiling? Waking up?
Yeah, definitely. That's another good wake up call. You go right from the dome to the ceiling to the soul crushing cold floor.
So be aware of that. So Brad, you've asked some of these guys this question. One essential thing that you got to have in the dorms. What's one thing that you just have to have in your dorms?
So for me, I'm living with Carson this year, and when you're living in that close of proximity with another person who has their own schedule and own business going on, you gotta be able to sleep. So my earplugs and my eye mask are essential.
And
I wear them all the time.
You never sleep without those things, right? Even on road trips?
No, I gotta have them all the time. A little bit of a crutch now, actually. I'm a little dependent.
Carson, what's one thing you got to have in that dorm room, man?
Got to have in that dorm room. I would say I got some speakers for free last year, and they've definitely been a game changer. If you ever just need some time to sit back, listen to some music, have a good time, just kind of relax, they definitely help. You
have good speakers.
Earplugs and speakers.
Earplugs. So you guys are living together. We know Brad's going to have those earplugs in a lot with you cranking those speakers all the time this year.
Exactly, yeah, it works perfect.
Perfect. All right, man, we'll be off. Brad, you got some more questions. We got a new guy coming in, Nate Vento, ready to fire away some questions. So,
Nate Vento here out of Van Meter, Iowa on BVU Move-In Day. Nate, how are you doing today?
Great, thank you.
So you're from Van Meter. That's right, like 1A, 2A school, right?
Yeah,
right
2A.
2A? What's Van Meter's big claim to fame?
I don't really know.
Not a lot going on in Van Meter, Iowa?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hear you're a twin.
Yep.
So your twin's not going to BV this year.
No.
How do you feel about being away from your twin for the first time?
I think it'll be okay at first. Maybe I'll miss him. I don't know.
What's his name?
Nick.
Nick and Nate?
Yep.
All right. So where's he going?
He's going to William Jesuit in West Virginia.
All right. Well, shout out to Nick Vento in West Virginia, yeah? So, Nate, what's your favorite pair of wrestling shoes?
I don't know. I just buy the shoes. I don't really.
You just, you know what?
Whatever ones.
They go on your feet and you can wrestle in them, so they're good enough. Yeah, I know what you mean. That's the way to go, honestly. So if you could pick the Pandora station during practice, we're going to listen to for a drill, for a nice long technique session. What Pandora station are we going to listen to?
Like maybe a workout, like pump up music. I don't really.
Do you have a genre in mind? Or an artist?
Maybe rap.
Rap?
Rap, yeah.
Good call. Good call. You'll get along fine with the guys, I'm sure. Some mystical stuff all up in there. Yeah, that's what I like to hear. All right, cool. Well, thanks for coming on the show, Nate.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day. Nick Mitchell on the Beaver Cast out of Council Bluffs, Iowa. Nick, how are you today?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah. What high school did you go to in Council Bluffs?
I went to Thomas Jefferson High.
All right, Council Bluffs, Thomas Jefferson. Excellent. And you wrestled heavyweight there?
Yeah, I did. I wrestled varsity for 2 years and then JV for the other 2.
Excellent. Well, that's good. We need some big boys. So we're glad to have you here, dude.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
So, Nick, you got all settled in. You got a little taste for the dorm. What's the most important thing in your dorm room right now?
Most important thing in my dorm room?
Most essential.
That would probably be my computer, because it was pretty expensive and I can do anything I need to on it for classes or just for entertaining myself.
Yeah, I got you. It's a versatile tool. So if you're going to go on vacation, Nick, would you go to the mountains or would you go to a beach setting?
I would probably go to a beach setting.
East Coast or West Coast?
I'm going to have to say West Coast.
West Coast living. Cali?
Yeah, most likely.
Nice. That'd be fun. Why?
I don't know. There's just a lot to do in California, and the beaches are pretty cool, like Huntington Beach.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. Well, if we're going to go on our first big road trip, and you get to pick the movie that we watch on the charter bus, it's all up to you. What movie are you going to pick?
Honestly, I'm probably going to have to say Hunger Games, because that movie is so boring that I just fall asleep, and that's what I'm about on charter bus rides.
You got to pick something that'll put you right to sleep.
Yes.
I appreciate that. That's a good answer. Well, thanks for coming on, Nick.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me.
Freshman Nick Richards is about to join me on the BVU Beavercast. Nick, where are you from?
I'm from Florida.
Florida. Where in Florida?
Cape Coral, Fort Myers area.
Cape Coral, right around Fort Myers?
Yeah.
All right. So what's the high school?
Ida Baker.
Ida Baker.
Yes.
What weight did you wrestle last year for Ida Baker?
182.
182, really?
Yes.
Wow, all right. That's going to be, you're going to fill in nicely then. Okay. I'll tell you what, you're going to have a good time in the room. Got some good workout partners set for you. So what was it like coming all the way to Iowa from Florida? Like, what did you know about the place?
I mean, I knew almost nothing about it other than what Coach Wyatt and Coach Breeze told me about it, but I mean, they seemed really enthusiastic about me coming, and I figured it'd be a good experience for me to move out of state and go far away from just where I was from originally.
Yep, it's going to be quite the experience for you. Very character-building moment. So, Austin. No. Oh, we're going to edit that out. Edit that out, right. Please. Nick, what is your guilty pleasure food in the off-season?
Oh, my guilty pleasure food, ice cream.
Ice cream?
Ice cream and cake, yep.
For sure, yeah. Ice cream. What about ice cream cake?
Ice cream cake's my
favorite. If we put them together, can 2 birds with 1 stone, right?
Of course, yep. Ice cream cake's the best.
So, if we were to take our first charter bus road trip, and it was all up to you on the first movie that we watched, what movie are you going to pick?
The first movie... The Longest Yard. The Longest Yard?
Yeah. That's always a crowd pleaser, right?
Yes, it is. I love that movie.
Yeah, Adam Sandler's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's a good pick for sure. Well, I hope that you can settle into Iowa and be just as happy as you were in Florida.
I hope so, too.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
Parker Proyle here out of Denison, Iowa on the BVU Beavercast. Parker, how are you?
Good.
So you wrestled for Denison last year?
Yep.
What weight did you wrestle your senior year?
160.
160? All right. That's good. We need some more midweights. It's going to be a good workout partner for me. So, how does it feel going from being a monarch to a beaver, two unconventional mascots?
Oh, it's great, you know. It's just going to be one smiling face to another.
That's right, man. That's right. It's going to be great. So, I think I saw something about you being involved with 4-H. Something along those lines. Did you visit the state fair?
Oh yeah, I went down there to check the horses out. So we live on a farm and have horses out there, so I show horses for 4-H. So I went down there just to check out different styles of horses at the state fair too.
Yeah, nice. What's your favorite fair food?
Anything on a stick.
Anything. Well, that's a pretty wide variety of stuff at the Iowa State Fair.
That's true. That's why I love it. You know.
Yeah,
got some
absolutely
unconventional foods on a stick.
Sweet, dude. So. Getting pretty excited to wrestle here, man. I'm excited to have you. What, you come into practice day one, and it's up to you what station we listen to on Pandora. Completely up to you. Don't worry about pleasing the crowd. What do you want?
80s rock.
80s rock? We're going to get along fine. Trust me, dude. What's your favorite band? Favorite band?
AC/DC.
Right on, dude. Yeah, you'll get along well with Coach White, too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, Parker. Well, thanks for joining us on the BVU Beavercast.
You bet.
We have Riley Altenberg here on the BVU Beavercast out of Minnesota. Riley, where are you from in Minnesota?
Spring Lake Park, Minnesota is where I'm in school, and I live in Blaine, Minnesota.
Blaine, Minnesota?
Yeah.
Went to school at Spring Lake Park?
Spring Lake Park, yeah.
Awesome. Shout out to Spring Lake Park. So how far of a drive was that?
About 4.5, almost 5 hours.
4.5 hours to Blaine, Minnesota. Cool. Was it a nice drive? Did you go through some
it was nice.
Lakeland?
I originally lived in Medelia, Minnesota, and I drove through there, so I said hi to a few family members and told friends and stuff. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's pretty good. So you came down here for freshman orientation over the summer.
Yes.
And you're a champ at spike ball.
Yeah, I'm absolutely the best person you'll ever see. I'll challenge anybody that's listening to this podcast or anybody on this campus.
You be careful, man. With words like that, you're going to get some takers. We got some gamers, I'm telling you.
I'm willing to play.
What's so spike ball, you can get some pretty long volleys going.
Yeah.
What's the longest volley you've been a part of?
You know, I've gotten points from my hand started, they being red. I couldn't even, I was dripping sweat in some of them. And me and my old teammate from the team, we did a tournament once, and we went against our first round team. We had like a 4-minute one. We were just going back and forth, and we were sprinting all across. It was long.
That sounds like a lot of fun, dude. You ever thought about going pro?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We were debating on going down to New York to play a tournament. Then we realized it's a lot of money.
Yeah, that is a lot of money.
You gotta get sponsors first.
You can just come to Iowa and crush some rookies.
Yeah.
You'll have to show me how to play. Mm-hmm. Who's your favorite wrestler of all time, Riley?
Probably Kyle Dake. You know, he's been pretty good and went to college, and then he had to do a lot of injury, and he didn't make the Olympics here, but he's trying out, make a world team maybe. So it goes.
He's a very positional wrestler.
Yeah, he is.
Now, with Burroughs having a down year at the Olympics, there's been some talk about Dake going back down to 74 kilos.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, both Dake and Taylor were kind of running away from Burroughs, which was understandable. But yeah, after his mental breakdown and getting teched and all that, I believe he'll move down.
You think Dake could give him a run for his money, or you think Burroughs is just on a down day?
You know, we'll have to take it day by day, but I think Dake could take him. I do.
We'll see what happens, man. It's going to be interesting for sure.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, thanks for coming to the Beavercast today.
All right,
hope you have a good rest of your move-in. Ryan Camp out of Canton, Georgia on the BVU Beavercast today. Ryan, how are you?
Doing pretty good, Brad.
Now, I understand that you guys flew up from Canton?
No, we actually drove.
You drove?
Yep.
So that's a monster trip.
Yeah, it's 17 hours, but we stopped in Kansas City, so we split it up 10 and 5.
Nice.
Because we
nice
drove
work.
fast. Yeah.
I see, yeah. So what's Canton's claim to fame?
If anything, it's the Hoagies.
The Hoagie Shop.
Yep, the Hoagie Shop.
Is it called the Hoagie Shop?
It's called the Hoagie Shop.
Nice.
They serve hoagies.
And that's about
hoagies
only. You know, those shops that specialize are usually pretty good.
Yeah.
So you come from a CrossFit family, right?
That's right.
That's what Coach mentioned. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we moved to Georgia in 2009, and that's when we really first started CrossFitting. And then it was shortly after that my mom became a coach, And then she started co-owning CrossFit Canton, so the gym that's in her town.
Right.
And so it's kind of like the home away from home, if you count the wrestling room too.
Yeah, got you. Yeah, for sure. Those that's pretty good. Now, what would be your favorite CrossFit workout, or per se your least favorite?
Least favorite, because that one's really easy. DT. It's 12, 9, 6 of deadlifts, hang power cleans, and push press with heavy weight, and 5 rounds of it.
And you go back to back to back on the rounds?
Yeah, no rest in between the rounds. So
that sounds sufficiently horrible.
Yeah, it is sufficiently horrible.
Now, there's Coach wanted me to ask you about doing CrossFit workouts on big days like graduation day, Memorial Day. What's that all about?
Well, on holidays, like we have a Thanksgiving workout where everyone from the community comes in. It's called the throw down before the chow down.
Right.
So you just do like a big workout and then everyone brings food. But on Memorial Day, we do the workout called Murph.
The Murph.
Yeah.
Right, and that's a pretty renowned workout in the CrossFit world.
Yeah, it is, and it's a pretty rough one too.
Now you hit the mile, 100 pull-ups,
yep,
200 push-ups, 300 squats,
and then another mile run.
Hit another mile at the end. It's all for time.
All for time, and if you're risky enough, you do it with a weighted vest.
That sounds pretty insane.
Yeah, it is. It's horrible. Not as bad as DT personally, but still pretty bad.
I'll keep that in mind if I ever get into CrossFit. I'll know which ones to avoid. So, Ryan, if you're going to pick the Pandora station on the first day of practice, which Pandora station are we listening to?
Oh, that's tough because
you don't got to worry about police in the crowd or anything.
Yeah, my music goes everywhere, but when I'm working out, I can only work out or wrestle to Rapp.
All right. Well, that's fair. You'll make some friends.
Yeah.
For sure on that. All right, sweet. Well, thanks for being on the Beavercast today, Ryan.
Oh, no problem.
Sweet. Seth Galen here on the Beavercast. Seth is out of Kemper, Iowa. How are you today, Seth?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you. So, Seth, you came from Kemper, and that's in Carroll.
Yep.
Carroll's not too far from here, yeah?
Hour south.
How do you feel about going to school somewhere that's, it's not too close, not too far. An hour's kind of a pretty nice sweet spot.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's a straight shot north. I stay on the same road I actually live on to get here. I can go home if I need to, but I don't need to feel like I'm just staying right there,
Yeah, I know what you mean. I live in Audubon, so that's, another 15 minutes. So I'm kind of in the same boat, and that's really nice to have that for sure. So, Seth, you've been to La Juanita's in town, the Mexican stop, right?
Yeah.
So, what's your go-to dish there? What are you gonna order?
Oh, just the little tacos.
You like the street tacos?
I like the street.
Which meat?
The carne asada, is that what
Yeah, the carne asada. That's the steak tacos.
Steak tacos.
Oh man, those are so good.
One of the little strawberry sodas out of the bottle.
Yeah, the Jarritos. Yeah, strawberry Jarritos. Nice. You sound like you know what you're doing. You got the works figured out. Those limes are perfect on the street tacos. Yeah, for sure, dude. So, if you walk into practice on the first day and Coach Breeze lets you pick the Pandora station, what are you going to pick?
The Hollywood Undead station.
Hollywood Undead?
That's what I was
for
listening
sure.
to earlier this morning.
Yeah. Hollywood. I think we've heard that a time or two in the room already, so I think you'll like our taste.
Yeah.
For sure, dude. All right, well, thanks for joining us, Seth, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
All right, you too. Thank you.
We have Zach Andrews here from Belmont Clemmy, Iowa High School, from Belmont, Iowa, joining us for the Beavercast. Zach, how are you?
Not too bad. Just got moved in today.
Yeah, the orientation team is very accommodating.
They are.
They get all your stuff out of the car and take it all up. That's nice.
That's
good. So it is my understanding that you are one of the few who has held out on the Pokemon Go craze.
Yeah, I just downloaded it last night.
They got you to cave, yeah? They made you download?
Wyatt did.
You getting into it? What do you think?
I caught my first one, so that was exciting, I guess.
Caught your first Pokemon. What was it?
Squirtle or something?
A Squirtle.
That
Nice.
sounds right.
Hey, that does sound right, and that's the baller way to go. I'll tell you what. Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
I'm going to have to go with Dylan Ness.
Dylan Ness, the Funk Master.
Exciting to watch. And just, yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, you like his Gator Bacon, his roll-throughs?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, he pulled that Gator Bacon on James Green in the NCAA quarters a couple years ago. That was the year I had him on my team for fantasy. He went all the way to the finals. He was a 9 seed.
It's good.
Yeah, Dylan Ness is a stud. So your parents are here today.
Yep.
What are they like on match day in the stands, or what's their role there?
My dad's assistant coach, so definitely hear him all the time. And then my mom, she's a cheerleading coach, but she's just like any wrestler mom, always up there yelling and everything, causing a scene.
Yeah.
Whatever, so.
Yeah, I'll bet she's pretty loud if she knows how to coach cheerleaders.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, Zach. It was a pleasure. That was good, dude. That was good. The fishing stuff, that'll be good. You're gonna love it here. We had a killing team last year that fished a lot. Oh, still recording.
This show is part of the Matt Talk Podcast Network. For more wrestling podcasts, head over to MattTalkOnline.com.